Welcome to the monthly update and community show, aka the Munch. Keaton here, and we got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. Now, normally I like to start this off with a nice recap of everything that we released on the channel this month, but in case you are not interested in any of that, or you just want to get straight to the important news that we have for this episode, be sure to click the skip button wherever I put it on the annotations or what have you. Somewhere on the video there will be a button. And with that out of the way, let's quickly recap everything that we released on the channel this month. As always, love to pimp it out every single month. Our Overwatch videos did a couple of interesting things this month, including the solo queue video where I had to run solo while Joe was out for the week. Would love to get more feedback on that video in particular, what you guys thought about it, if it was an enjoyable video, just me solo. And as always, when possible, I like to try out some new editing styles for those videos. So again, if you're not watching our Overwatch content, you probably should. In terms of new games that we looked at on the channel this month, there was Headlander, the new Double Fine game, Monsters and Monocles, which just hit early access, The Final Station, Slay Away Camp, the new Deus Ex game, and of course Joe and I both independently looked at No Man's Sky. And of course, speaking of No Man's Sky, we did a drop pod on our thoughts revolving around the game, its controversy and all of that. So there's a lot for any of you out there craving No Man's Sky content. On the cleanup cast this month, we talked about porn. Don't think that one requires any more detail than necessary. I also continued We Happy Few. Spoilers, died the same way I died in the first video, but got to explore more of the world at least. And the coup de grace, the thing that tops off this month as just one hell of a crazy month of content. We finished Doorways, Holy Mountains of Flesh. That has been a journey, and it ends. Boy, does it end. It ends in a way. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've been there for the entire journey, thank you so much for bearing with us. And that's about the gist of, as I said, a ton of different content on the channel for the month. So let's get to the nitty gritty, shall we? Let us talk about the news portion, the thing that I'm sure a lot of you are watching for in the first place. Now, I need to preface this by saying it is both bad news and good news, and I'm sure a lot of you will be urged to stop watching as soon as you hear the bad news, but I implore you to stick around for the good news because it is not all that bad. So let's start with the bad news. As of this October, Tengu Drop will no longer be updated daily. In fact, until future notice, we will no longer be putting any new content on the channel after October. Now, I need to stress that this is not the end of the channel. It's just that we're simply unable to afford the necessary time to run Tengu Drop properly, and that's mostly due to scheduling. Again, there's a 12-hour gap between Joe and I in terms of time difference, and a lot of our multiplayer focused content has really revolved around me having as flexible of a schedule as I've had over the past couple of years. But that is changing, so the window of opportunity for us to record together, to collaborate on projects, is just pretty much going to go away. And the only real alternative there would be us continuing to post solo videos. But Tengu Drop was always meant to be more of a collaborative effort, and if it's just us individually posting to the channel, that's not really much of a collaboration, and it's not really the level of collaboration that I think Tengu Drop deserves. So instead of trying to run the channel at half-mast and maybe burning out on the whole process, we decided to pull back and reassess the situation when we have a better understanding and grasp on non-channel related things that we have to deal with in our lives. Now, as grim and as sad as that may sound, there is in fact a silver lining, because we're not actually disappearing from the internet, from the content producing stratosphere, whatever metaphor you would like to drum up here, because I am actually starting a new solo channel, and I'll throw up a nice little subscribe graphic here so you can click it if you feel so inclined. And in terms of things that you can expect on that new channel, I will still be doing the typical Let's Play stuff in the similar style / format that I've been doing it on Tengu Drop, but I also want to focus on bringing a new unique twist to the way that I do things on the channel. For example, Nuclear Throne Roulette, the Trials of the Keeper, etc. Not only will those series continue on my solo channel, but the hopes is to approach other games in a similar fashion, where I put my own unique spin on the way that I play the game. The new channel will also feature something that I hope will be a prominent thing on the channel, and that is game development. I've spoken about making games as a hobby before on the channel if you've been watching for a while, and I hope that use this series to document my trials and tribulations with trying to make games. Not necessarily a game from an idea to a published product, but really just the experience of trying to make an idea come to life through trudging your way through code and seeing what does and does not work. Basically, by doing this, I hope it allows for a different perspective on the video game industry, especially from someone who often records himself playing video games. So those are just some of the ideas that are currently in either production or in pre-production for the channel in the near future. In terms of release schedule, it's going to be a much lighter release schedule than something on Tengu Drop, but hopefully if I find my stride and people enjoy the content, I'll be able to justify bumping it up and releasing more content per week. So if any of this sounds up your alley and you've enjoyed the content that I've been producing for Tengu Drop over the last few years, once again, you can click the subscribe button. It'll take you to the channel and you can go ahead and subscribe today. And indeed, I do hope to start releasing content as soon as October. So hopefully the transition between Tengu Drop and my new channel will be a smooth one. Oh, and by the way, I have joined Twitter and I intend to use it a lot more than I ever used the Tengu Drop account. So be sure to follow me on Twitter at modest_0. Tweet me all your thoughts and whatnot so I can get better at the social medias, because that's a thing I need to do. Now, if you're wondering what Joe will be doing as of October, unfortunately, there's not much I can give you there. I've double checked with him, triple checked with him, quadruple checked with him, and asked him exactly what he was planning to do. As far as I'm aware, he's not interested in continuing to make YouTube content, but I really stressed and asked him to at least give me something to give you guys. So at the very least, you can follow him on Twitch at twitch.tv/LostHopeFate. So follow him on the channel. I can't guarantee he's gonna stream on it, but that's probably the best way to keep up to date with whatever he might do in the future. So in summary, as of October, we will no longer be doing daily content. I am hopeful that we will still be able to get together every once in a while and do multiplayer content. None of that can be promised at this current time, but we're not actually disappearing, so once again, be sure to follow us on our respective platforms so that we can continue this journey together. And that, in a nutshell, is the news portion, the big reveal of what the future of Tengu Drop holds. But all of that happens at the end of the month. There's still a whole month of content to look forward to on the channel right now. Right now! I got a little too excited about that. So let's talk about what you can expect on this channel this month. So in terms of what you can expect from me, I will be celebrating a lot of the classic stuff that I've been doing on the channel over the last few years. That includes Nuclear Throne Roulette, the Trials of the Keeper, so on and so forth. But I will also be looking at newer releases as well. I've been meaning to look at Duelist. I'm not sure if it'll make for an interesting video. Not sure if I'll even be able to get to it this month, but we'll see. It's on my to-do list. As soon as next week, I'll be looking at a game called Blam Down that just left early access. It's a pretty interesting concept for a game. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can look it up if you want to. But it does sound like an interesting concept. Really excited to get to it. And as always, you can expect the good old podcast, the Cleanup Cast, the Atomic Drop, and the Drop Pod. We'll probably be doing a bit of a retrospective on the Drop Pod this month. And that'll about do it for this chunky, super heavy episode of the Munch. Once again, thank you to everyone who has watched our content over the month. And hell, thank you to anyone who has been watching over the last few years. We've always really appreciated your support. And hopefully you guys will follow us into our new endeavors. We would love to have you come along for the ride. And with that, if this happens to be the last time I get to see any of you beautiful people here, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And you know what now? Hopefully I see you guys again at some point down the line. Bye.